Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this one nice and short. This is one that I use when clients first come to start training with me, and just give them a basic idea about what we're trying to achieve. So this is all about the truth about fat loss. Um, you won't be able to see that one. So this is just a brief look at BMI, just to show to you that body composition is massively important. You've got two people here that weigh exactly the same, very different body shapes, very different health issues probably. So just to say that BMI isn't the be all and end all, it's a very, very rough guide and in some cases not adequate at all. This helps to explain the difference here. You've got your fat and your muscle, completely different shapes. Fat is considerably larger, takes up more volume, but they both weigh exactly the same. So you can get two people that weigh the same. The heavier person will be leaner, more toned and look trimmer, and it just doesn't make sense for some people. I hope this gives you a visual representation as to why this happens. This here, it goes around the internet a lot about, this is why we need to ditch the scales. This girl here, clearly not very big to start with, but wanted to get herself very, very lean, which she did, but in the meantime she put on a stone. So it just goes to show that actually what we need to be looking at is tape measure, how we feel and what our clothes fit like. Skinny fat, yeah, this is what we see here. A male version here, not a lot of muscle mass. Very, very skinny. So where is this not a lot better? Where we've got the strong, lean look. The lady on the right is a very famous American fitness professional. We don't need to be skinny, we just need to be fit, we need to be strong. And this is about a fat loss diet, and the metabolic way will certainly help you to get that look. This is just one of my favourite guys ever, Jesse Pavelka. Everyone will have seen him on TV. So weight loss is based on the premise of eat less and move more. It's not necessarily fat loss that you're losing, it can be water and quite often muscle. Steady state cardio exercise compounds the effect and leads to additional muscle loss, and therefore weight loss does not support the development of muscle tone. Interestingly, what also happens is that we actually reduce our basal metabolic rate, which in short means that we're burning less calories at rest. So when you come off that calorie controlled diet and you start eating properly again and you start immediately putting on weight, you wonder why. Well, it's because you're going to have lost some muscle mass along the way. So our aim is to get you to get trim and fit and not worry so much about what the scales say, but we're worried more about the muscle mass. Fat loss is about eating the right foods and doing the right exercise. Fat loss is about calories rather than the type of, is not about calories, but rather the type of food that we eat. It encourages the growth of lean muscle tissue, which may increase our weight, but we will increase our BMR and it will let us drop inches. And it also promotes a regulation of blood sugar, which is fantastic news for diabetics, control of cravings and increased energy. So let's talk about food here. So I've gone through this in one of my other accountability sessions with people, kind of the Let's Start Monday dieter. So they get up, they have their cereal first thing Monday morning, get to work, coffee and a piece of fruit, good plain salad for lunch, nothing in it, get home absolutely starving and literally empty their fridge and probably eat consistently from the time they get in to the time they go to bed, thinking they've saved all these calories. Really, really not a good idea. Whereas the metabolic way teaches us to be a detective, and I use the word diet in inverted commas because we're talking about building a lifestyle rather than being on a diet. It's not a diet at all. It's you learning what works for you. So what we aim to do is never get hungry. So we start with a good protein-based breakfast, like a frittata or an omelette. We can use protein bars as snacks. You can see here we've got a good healthy lunch. We've got a bit of low-fat dairy, protein, salads, vegetables. Fruit and nuts, protein shakes and more protein, fish, chicken, vegetables, maybe a bit of sweet potato or brown rice in the evening. We try and illustrate the difference here between the fat loss and weight loss by using the chicken breast and the donut scenario. So you'd ask yourself which has more calories if you was that way inclined. You can see here that in actual fact they've both got about the same, but we're looking at the percentages of fat, carbs and protein. Now just on an off note, the fat alongside the carbs in that donut make an absolute disaster for fat storage. You're going to store that fat in places you don't want to be storing it. It's going to make you. It's not going to fill you up. Whereas the hormones that related to the ingestion of the chicken breast will help you to stay motivated. They'll get good hormones. You'll be satiated for longer, fuller for longer, and that's what we're trying to get across. So the chicken breast is the fat loss diet. The donut is the weight loss diet. Does healthy necessarily mean fat loss? Not particularly, no. Nuts, seeds, dairy foods, whole grains, sweet fruits and cereals, whilst can be used in moderation, this consistent kind of diet that a lot of us are on now, very, very high starchy carbs, is an absolute disaster for our blood sugar. So yes, they're healthy, but no, they won't particularly burn fat. And the impact of diet and low-fat products is obscene. You're getting all these kind of low-fat pre-packaged bars on the market, you know, cereals in a bottle. If you can't read something on the bottle, you shouldn't be, or the packet, you shouldn't be taking it in. So we need to start going back to basics, and it's easily done. You just need to get a bit of practice. Not going to go into too much detail about this graph because it's a bit in depth. You'll probably find some more details about it in the book written by the two brothers, The Metabolic Effect. But cortisol, ghrelin, insulin and leptin are big influencers on our fat loss lifestyle, and we need to keep these in check. We use the saying, heck is in check, hunger, energy and cravings, and we work to amend these ones here to keep ourselves in balance. People have different trigger foods. So for some people it's dairy, we've got shellfish here, we've got soy products, we've got nuts, we've got cereals, we've got bread, we've got eggs. These can all impact people in a very different way and trigger them onto a bit of a, like an eating frenzy, or they can elicit responses in the body hormonally, which will, you know, ruin their fat loss goals. But again, we work with our clients very closely and we keep asking them, keep your food diary, work out how you feel, and then we can work backwards and work out what they've been eating and what we need to change. The main rules for metabolic nutrition are to eat more volume food, so lots of fibre, lots of water and lots of protein. Eating every 2 to 4 hours so you don't let yourself get hungry. And eat certain foods less, so we limit the starchy carbs to bites depending on kind of what kind of burner you are, and there's a questionnaire in the book. If you wanted the questionnaire sent over to you, I'm happy to do that. Just email me at getfit@revolution.co.uk. And we also work on the premise that we need a reward meal every week. This helps us reset us psychologically and physiologically. Exercise is key to the metabolic effect. We're talking about quality, not quantity. We're not talking about sitting on a treadmill or a cross trainer for an hour at a time. Weight loss exercise is typically steady state cardio, so like your jogging on the treadmill, like your cross trainer, like your aerobics classes. Doesn't necessarily encourage the growth of lean tissue. It can encourage the loss of muscle mass. It doesn't create an afterburn, and it may lead to this kind of look here, which is lean, undoubtedly, but very, very little tone, and probably actually quite a high proportion of body fat compared to what she looks like. Whereas our fat loss exercise is high intensity training with the use of weights or body weight. We encourage the growth of muscle development, and we create this afterburn, the EPOC, the exercise post-oxygen consumption, which may lead to, done correctly, this kind of beautiful lean figure here. What is afterburn? So if you imagine yourself kind of jogging up the stairs at work or walking up the stairs at work, and you're fine while you're going up there, but when you get to the top, you're absolutely worn out. This kind of heavy breathing, the burning, breathless, heavy sensation is EPOC. And effectively what that does is it allows you to keep burning extra calories up to 48 hours after your exercise has ceased, which you do not get with steady state cardio. Okay, so this is the real big difference with the metabolic training. This is a brief resume of how the metabolic training works. I'm not going to go into that because again that's in the book, and all my clients already know about that. The big thing to tell you though, it is rest based. So every session we do is you push till you can't, and then you rest till you can. So you reach your peak and then you stop and you just step back in. It's perfect for every level of fitness. You're working out for average of 30 minutes and there's no choreography. You haven't got to worry about that. The other thing to remember in a metabolic diet is that it's not just about calories, and I'll go into this in another accountability session. It's all about stress and sleep as well, because they will massively impact your fat loss goals and your fat loss journey. If you don't take control of these, you're going to hinder your success. Again, I'm going to quickly skip this one because it's all about kind of, you know, the fat storer and the fat burner, where the hormone levels need to be, and you know how you can tweak them to work for you. We're going to go here. So this is Ginny's journey. Ginny started with us, totally took on the nutrition, managed to lose herself 4.5 stone before she got married, regulated her blood sugars. She's now just about to give birth. She hasn't had gestational diabetes like they suggested that she would have, and she's having a natural birth, so we're really, really happy for her. Dawn was another one that really took the nutrition on board, got the exercise up straight and had, you know, amazing results. And that's just a couple of them. There's more on the website. But ultimately, if you're not happy with where you are right now, you need to change something if you want to be happy. And you have to accept that it's going to take some work, and it depends on how prepared you are to do that. Ready to get your best body ever? Well, if you are, you need a mental commitment, otherwise there's no physical change. You need to set yourself your 7 Ps, your preparation. You need to set yourself a SMART goal, and you need to get support. You need to get a buddy. And basically, we want to sell results and not exercise. So anything we can do to help, we will. But we suggest you contact us at getfit@revolution.co.uk or head over to our website and fill in our consultation form, and we'll do exactly what we can to give you a hand. Thank you for listening.